going back to our shopping list for a bit of reflection and overview on what we've done so far and what we still need to do, we've done really well here. So most of this stuff is down and ticked off, and looking at the middle section, we have just one thing left that we need to do. So on our page, we can now change this, we can change the menu, we can change the intro, we can update our food menu items, but our locations at the bottom are currently hard-coded. So this is something that was mentioned in the brief, is the ability for them to be able to edit and update new locations as they expand and open new restaurants. So how are we going to edit this and add this to our page? Well, we're going to do it as a custom post type. And when it's thrown all together, it's going to look a bit like this. So at the top, we have our menu. We grab a random item from it. Next up, we have our intro, which is a custom post type. We grab just one of those. Then we go through our menu and we get 20 of those. And lastly, we're going to have a custom post type for our locations. So what we need to add is another custom post type to our page. And we're going to do that just as we've done before via the functions.php. And to do it, we are going to copy and paste this code that we already have and put it down here. So we're going to say here we add our location custom post type. What name are we going to give it? It's going to be called locations. The individual name is going to be location. And then down here, we're going to call it location. Now this function, we need to change the name a bit. So I'm going to say add locations, and I need to change it down here as well. So the function needs to get added at the bottom here. Don't worry too much if this code is quite scary. To be honest, it's been one of those things that I have never been able to remember off the top of my head, which is why we used that tool earlier, and it generates the code for us. The idea is we're just adding a custom post type. There's a bunch of different options that can go with that, and we just need to change the bits that we need. So here we add our location custom post type. Cool, let's give this a go. In our dashboard, refresh the page. What do we get? Perfect. So we've got this new area in our dashboard where we can add our restaurant locations. So let's go ahead and add one in. We're going to add one for Seoul. And the content that we're going to give it is going to be what we have here. So let's paste that in. We've got the awkward alignment again, so I'm just going to manually edit these. Going to make sure that I have no line breaks between these paragraphs. Otherwise, we might run into some formatting issues with WordPress automatically inserting paragraphs. With that last paragraph there, I'm just making sure that it's on the same line so it doesn't do any funny business there. And then what I'm going to do is to add it to a locations category. So if you don't have that category already, you can add it by saying locations and then just add there. So I've already got that in there. I'm going to publish this post. Cool, so that's published. We go to locations now, we can see it there. Now, how do we query for this? Well, we're just going to borrow the code that we've already written from above. So where we have our intro, we're going to grab these two lines of code here and we're going to paste them down the bottom. So you'll run into a habit of doing this, and not just with WordPress, but all code in general, is you don't need to always type out everything from scratch. Sometimes you just reuse pieces and then change the bits that you need. So where I'm going to put this is going to be inside locations. Just inside this div, I'm going to put these two bits. Now I'm going to just collapse this location here so it's a little bit clearer what's going on. And I'm going to indent those. And then what I need to do is I need to do PHP, and then we are doing end while, and then end if. It's going to go just after our locations. So here we're doing a query. What are we going to do in our query? Well, we are going to ask for our location post types. Then we loop over them. And you need to make sure your end while is just before this closing div. So you should have main div and then the end while just before that. So now our locations are inside of a loop. And what I'm going to do is, instead of having all of this stuff, we've got this later on, we'll make this dynamic. This is the moment of when it actually gets made. We're going to say PHP the content. So we're going through our locations, and each time we're looping through, we're going to put out this content that we have here. Cool. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we've updated that and nothing is broken. So this is good. It means it's now coming via our dashboard. If I update this here, I'm not particularly original with thinking of things to put in the content. So there we go. Update it, and this is now dynamic. So what we're going to do in our next video is to look at how we can add and make this map dynamic as well. Currently it's just coded in there as hard code, but we have nowhere to put this map. So in the next video, we'll figure out how we can approach doing that.